Well, I suppose you can't really talk about Sizwe Banzi and the island, John and Winston, my relationship, without going back before that to the genesis of the group which provided us with a context for our work, which is Serpent Players. And the simple facts there are that in about must have been about 1963, I was back in Port Elizabeth after having done a tour of the country with the first play really to achieve some recognition, which was The Blood Knot. Attracted a lot of publicity and it was very well received. I was back in Port Elizabeth and one night there was a knock on the door and into my life walked 4 men who asked me if I'd help them start a drama group. At the time I felt bloody tired and I really didn't want an involvement like that, but I said come back later, and they came back about a week later and I'd thought about it, and in true guilt-stricken liberal fashion I said yes. And the first problem was to look around for a script or an idea for a play to provide us with our first production. And what I did was adapt to a township setting Machiavelli's The Mandrake. Do you know it?
I haven't read it for years.
But it's a glorious bit of fun, and that was the start of Serpent Players. The name, incidentally, is interesting. The only venue we could find for a performance in Port Elizabeth, being a black group, was there was a museum not far from where I was staying, and part of the museum had been a snake park, and there was an abandoned snake pit, and we in fact gave our first performance in this abandoned snake pit, and that's where the name Serpent Players comes from. We followed The Mandrake up with other productions ranging from Brecht, the Caucasian Chalk Circle, to Antigone. And then parallel, as my involvement with the group grew, they became a little impatient to, obviously a play like the Caucasian Chalk Circle or Antigone deals with issues which had, reference to the problems in their lives, but they were impatient to deal with their own experiences more immediately. So parallel with our sort of orthodox work in theatre and sort of getting hold of a script and maybe adapting it slightly, but basically getting another writer's script, we started experiments in playmaking.